This house, we try to understand the family, how they move, how they, what their priorities are, what sort of gatherings they have with family, the things that they value, and then the design really centered around that. So when we apply the philosophy of a present-day heritage home, that's heritage for who the client is. And everybody has a different heritage, everybody has a different history. It's anywhere from furniture pieces to the way spaces are arranged, the communal spaces, how we can really bring people together. So those sort of values. I'm Miko de los Reyes. I'm an architect and I'm from Imagimax. And I designed this house for this family. I think one of the points that was really important in the design here was the communal space of the living area, the dining area, and the kitchen. So they really wanted one space where a lot of people could get together. They were envisioning inviting their friends and especially family over, having these get-togethers where, food would be laid out and everybody could just lounge around, be comfortable, take naps in the middle of the day as everybody's all together. And so we came up with a really simple open plan for that. And then these indoor spaces flow out into the outdoor lanai view. This style would allow you this flexibility to just build on. It really provides you like a canvas of telling your story. As the house was coming up, we would just either find the opportunity to acquire a piece or find out that an old piece could actually go a certain area in the house. We just furnished it little by little. We just built on that. It was more organic as everything was coming together. Well, I think the interesting thing about the furniture is, like I said, the design of the house was centered around this concept of a present-day heritage home. And the furniture also lends itself to that philosophy or that idea. A lot of the furniture actually came from both of the couple's relatives. One of those pieces is the dining table. You see the dining table is not particularly large, but the owner was very insistent on still using it in home, and it's because it actually belonged to the grandfather. And there were so many stories and events that happened on that dining table, and so they just wanted that to continue. The other interesting piece is the baluster headboard in the master bedroom. And that piece actually belonged to dad of the owner, and that was one of his favorite pieces of antique wood furniture. So the architecture of the house was inspired by still my home, because when the clients visited, they realized they did want something similar to what I had done for myself. I can't ignore the fact that it's somewhat inspired by the Singapore black and white homes. Again, the Singapore black and white homes have that connection to the colonial heritage and the East meets West aesthetic. And so that was also the inspiration with the color and the lines of this house. The site was a little bit more unique in the sense that it's very elevated from the street. So it had a very abrupt incline from the sidewalk. And so the main level of the house sits almost 1 story above the sidewalk elevation. And so the owners of the house just wanted to make sure that in the years to come, this is going to be the house where they, grow older. They just wanted to make sure that accessibility was still addressed. And so we incorporated a ramp on one side of the property just for that. So the other interesting feature of this house is, I would say, the passive cooling. And we really did that intentionally. We wanted to make the house as permeable as possible to catch all the ventilation in the area. We wanted to take advantage of the topography and where it sits and really capture all of that ventilation. So we incorporate that especially in the living spaces. So in the living room you have the double height and you have the wide openings on both sides in those areas. And so that really carries over through the dining and through the lanai in the kitchen as well. The kitchen of this house was really a lifestyle kitchen, but something that they could actually utilize and not just a display kitchen. So we wanted it really simple, comprising of mostly an island. And that island, you could prepare the food on it, but you could serve the food in it. People could eat on the island. It serves a lot of purposes. We just want it to be one big surface, and since it's part of the living space, that it didn't look too utilitarian. So we designed this shelf that sits at the level of the range hood, and then the owner just likes to put plants on top of that, just to add some greenery inside the house. Maybe I'd say the unique thing about Imagimax when we design is we're not known for a templated design. I'd like to think that our trademark has really more to do with the space planning and customizing that to the client's needs. A lot of the time we end up realizing that we as users adapt to the space we're in, and when you're building a home, it's really your opportunity to make the space work for you instead. So I think the role of good design in people's lives is convenience, but I think that convenience defined in the subconscious. It's when the space works for you and you don't even realize. It makes things more efficient for you. You're in harmony with your home.
If you like this video and want one for your space, Jar Conseco is a freelance photographer and videographer. To see more of his work, find him on Instagram or visit jarconsenko.squarespace.com.